After my leg was broken by a group of thugs, Noah held my hand and said he would take care of me for the rest of my life. On our wedding day, his childhood sweetheart told me, "Do you really think Noah loves you? He was the one who hired those people to break your leg, just because I didn't like you." Then she sent me a voice message. Noah's careless voice came through. "Anyone who has ever bullied Ruby has to pay the price. Let's just break one of her legs." I pushed my wheelchair and left the wedding. That day, everyone was saying the bride had disappeared, and the heir of the Hayes family had gone mad. I shakily stood up from my wheelchair, holding on to the parallel bars. I only managed a few steps before I wanted to sit back down, but a pair of strong hands supported me. I looked back. It was Noah. His face was all smiles. "Only a few steps and you're sitting down again." I rested my head on Noah's shoulder. "Tomorrow is our wedding." I wanted to try standing. Hearing this, Noah helped me back into the wheelchair, knelt down, and started massaging my legs with the technique the doctor had taught him. I looked at his focused and gentle face, a little lost in thought. Back then, I had been framed for bullying Ruby, and a group of thugs had broken my leg. When I was found, I was lying on the ground, barely breathing. It was Noah who took me to the hospital. I still remember a year ago, Noah holding my legs with trembling hands, saying, "Does it hurt? I'm sorry I was late." When the doctor announced that I would probably be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, I truly didn't want to live for those few days. What was the point of living alone with these legs? During those hardest months, it was Noah who took care of me day and night. I knew he was the heir of the Hayes family, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, yet he humbled himself to care for me. This day, he was also rubbing my legs, his eyes seemingly filled with only me. "Mia, let's get married." Noah poured the cool medicinal oil on my leg, and I came back to my senses. I said in a low voice, "My leg has been treated for so long. Is it never going to get better?" Noah's body stiffened for a moment. Then he quickly changed his expression and smiled. "It's okay. If your leg doesn't get better, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life." He wanted to say more, but his phone suddenly rang. He stood up and walked out the door. At that moment, my phone also dinged. I swiped the screen to see a text message from an unsaved number. "Mia, don't marry Noah. He's not worth it." I frowned and replied, but the other person didn't respond. Noah came back in after his call and knelt in front of me. "Mia, there's something at the company I need to take care of." I put down my phone and smiled at him. "Come back early, don't work too hard." Noah rubbed my head and turned to leave. I lowered my head to figure out who the sender of the text was and didn't see Noah take a small handkerchief out of his bag. He wiped his hands vigorously, then tossed the handkerchief into the trash without a second thought. By midnight, Noah still hadn't returned, but the strange number from the afternoon replied, "It's Leo. Leo, the Leo from the prominent Carter family." The next second, he sent a picture. I clicked on it. It was Noah, seemingly in his office. A moment later, my eyes widened. Ruby was sitting next to him. They were very close, Ruby smiling ear to ear, and Noah's face wore a doting smile. I came back to my senses and video, called Noah with trembling hands. He answered quickly. Noah's lips were curved in a smile, his eyes like a deep lake, reflecting my image. "Baby, you miss me?" I hummed a soft, "Yes." "Are you alone in the office?" Noah's smile was a little roguish, checking up on me before we're even married. He then moved the phone around. "See, baby, no one here but me." I saw Noah even show me the bathroom and almost laughed. The big stone in my heart was lifted, but a faint unease remained. Noah's voice, mixed with static, came through. "Go to sleep early, my dear. Be a beautiful bride for me tomorrow." After hanging up, I lay in bed. The guy from the Carter family didn't send any more messages. That picture was probably photoshopped. After all, the technology is so good these days. Many people came to the wedding, but I didn't know most of them. Many were whispering, "Why would Mr. Hayes marry someone with no family background?" I don't know. I heard they were together in college. I heard her parents passed away a long time ago. I stood behind the stage, clutching my phone. Why hadn't Noah arrived yet? Did he work too late last night? I was about to call Noah when a message came through on his messaging app. It was a voice message. "Is this Mia? It's Ruby." I sat in my wheelchair, half of my blood turning cold. The voice message played automatically. "Don't wait. Noah isn't coming today, because he's sleeping next to me right now. You don't really think Noah would marry you, do you?" Ruby's coquettish laughter came from the phone. "Your leg. I wasn't the one who had it broken. You know." I gripped the hem of my wedding dress. How could it be? Back then, it was clearly Ruby who, out of unrequited love for Noah, framed me for bullying her and then hired thugs to break my leg. Afterward, Noah told me that Ruby had been punished and that he would never see her again. It was actually Noah who hired people to break your leg. Do you know why? Because he believed you bullied me, so he had your leg broken. Towards the end, Ruby's voice became more and more smug. I bit my lip and chanted in my heart, she's lying, she's lying. Noah wasn't the one who had my leg broken. Ruby seemed to know I wouldn't believe her and sent another recording. It was indeed Noah's voice, a little careless, a side of him I had never seen. He said, anyone who has ever bullied Ruby has to pay the price. Let's just break one of her legs. The phone slipped from my hand and fell to the floor. I covered my mouth to stifle a sob. Tears streamed down my face. Everything before was a lie. The noisy guests in front of me seemed to be mocking me for giving my heart to the man who broke my leg. All the details from before suddenly connected. No wonder Noah rarely slept with me. He told me it was because he was a restless sleeper and was afraid of pressing on my leg. No wonder Noah often slept at the company. He must find me disgusting. I laughed at myself. To be with me despite his disgust. He really deserved praise for his endurance. His revenge was complete, promising me a wedding, then leaving me here alone to face everyone's strange looks. I scrolled through my chat history with Noah over and over again. My vision blurred again. So this is how painful it is to love someone who doesn't love you back. Whatever Noah's goal was, he had succeeded. At this moment, I felt clearer than ever before. I put my phone away and went into the dressing room. I wasn't going to be a part of this farce anymore. I slowly but firmly pushed my wheelchair and left through the back door. I returned to the small 50-square-meter apartment I had bought in college. After blocking Noah, I slowly moved to the bed. All I wanted right now was a good sleep. Tomorrow, I'll go get my clothes from Noah's place. Right. And I have to return this wheelchair. Noah bought it. I had a bad dream. All about Noah. In the dream, I still subconsciously trusted him, as if I was trying to escape his deception and betrayal. But I should have known. Noah had never liked me. He probably just saw my broken leg as a joke and my deep affection for him as a way to pass the time when he was bored. It must feel good to have someone who comes running at the snap of your fingers, completely dependent on you and only you. My nightmare was interrupted by a knock on the door. I shakily used my crutch to go open it. Noah's eyes were filled with a crazed emotion, his breathing uneven. Mia, our wedding yesterday. Why did you? He tried to come in, but I blocked half the doorway. I didn't know why he was still looking for me. To laugh at me, I lowered my head, trying to maintain some dignity. Mr. Hayes, let's cancel the wedding. Noah's breath caught for a moment. He slammed his hands on either side of my arms, trapping me against the door. The distance between us allowed me to clearly see the red in his eyes. I stared at him and said, word for word, let's break up. I don't like you anymore. Noah suddenly burst into anger. Why? Who have you hooked up with now? I didn't expect him to say that. I was filled with a mixture of anger and resentment, and I slapped him across the face. My shoulders trembled uncontrollably. Mr. Hayes, was it fun to play with my feelings? Were you happy to have my leg broken? Noah froze, his lips trembling, his breath catching in his throat. Now that things had come to this, I didn't beat around the bush with Noah. You were the one who hired people to break my leg a year ago, weren't you? Noah was still in a daze. When he came to his senses, he subconsciously denied it. No, Noah couldn't look me in the eye. I knew him too well. I sighed. There's really no need to make this so ugly. Noah seemed to have calmed down. Ugly? Aren't you the one making a scene? Yes, I'm making a scene, I gasped. I'm a cripple who's reaching above her station. Only Ruby is good enough for you. At these words, Noah's face darkened. I didn't want to say any more and pushed him out the door. Noah had probably never been rejected so harshly. His true colors were finally showing. I know I'm responsible for your leg. If you hadn't bullied Ruby back then, this wouldn't have happened. With a bang, I slammed the door shut. He was probably feeling quite embarrassed. Before leaving, he threw out one last sentence. I'll give you some time to think. Don't be so willful. Willful? How ridiculous. I blocked Noah. I don't know how he explained the wedding to the outside world, but it had nothing to do with me anymore. I lay in bed, a little lost. I hated this feeling of being out of control. This farce could finally end. The phone on the table buzzed. I propped myself up. It was a text message. Are you okay? At the same time, a friend request popped up. The username was just 2 words. Leo. I don't know how Leo got my number, but I knew he was in the same social circle as Noah. I swiped out of the screen. I really didn't want to get involved with these people. I hadn't seen my grandmother in a long time. I checked my balance and immediately bought a plane ticket for the afternoon. I wiped the wheelchair clean and placed it in a corner. When I got back, I would clear everything up, including my leg. I packed a few clothes and called a driver to help me with my luggage. I went downstairs with my crutch. The flight was a bit late, so I went to a nearby store and bought a loaf of bread. As I sat down to eat, I opened my messaging app, and a flood of messages came in, some from Noah, some from his friends. I glanced at them and then closed the app. They were all just asking what was wrong between Noah and me. I closed my eyes. The good mood I had just regained was instantly gone. After a while, I saw a person in a black tracksuit sit down next to me. I looked at the seat to my right and moved over a little. The person immediately followed. I looked up. He was leaning back in his chair, smiling at me. Hey, what a coincidence. I thought I didn't know this person. The other person seemed to realize this and feigned pity. And here I was, telling you about that scumbag Noah, and you don't even recognize me anymore. When I was with Noah, he barely let me leave the house. So, apart from his few close friends, I had only heard of the others but had never met them. I looked at him. Are you Leo? He grinned. You guessed it. Here's your prize. The boy's open palm held a strawberry candy. I hesitated and didn't take it. Leo grabbed my hand and placed the candy in my palm. We're so close now. Just take it. The sunlight shone through his choppy hair, blurring his sharp features into a gentle haze. I shook my head, snapping out of it. When did we become so close? Before I could argue, the boy in front of me continued. Are you going on a trip? To clear your head. Although Leo was a bit of a chatterbox, he wasn't annoying. Going to see my grandma. Leo nodded and went back to his phone. I checked my watch. It was almost time. It's almost time. I have to go. Leo, who had been on his phone, looked up. Okay. I walked a few steps with my crutch, then suddenly remembered something and turned back. I shook the candy in my hand and smiled. Thanks for the candy. The staff helped me with my luggage, and I searched for my seat number by number. I had just sat down when a familiar figure sat down next to me. Leo, wearing a mask, seemed even more surprised than I was. We're going to the same place. He looked just like a big, tail, wagging dog. I watched him sit down. Yes, what a coincidence. He fastened his seatbelt and excitedly asked me, You're more familiar with the area. Is there anything fun to do there? I found it strange. A rich kid like Leo should be going hiking, or to a private island, or skiing or something. Why would he choose to come to a small place like York? York doesn't have many attractions, but there's a lot of good food. Leo nodded and went back to his phone. He was probably looking up fun places to go. I took out an eye mask from my bag and put it on, preparing to take a nap. I was half asleep when I shivered. The air conditioning on the plane was too cold. A moment later, I felt a blanket draped over me. I warmed up and fell back asleep. When I woke up again, it was Leo who woke me. He frowned. Did you not sleep well last night? I looked at the blanket on me. It must have been from Leo. Thanks. Leo just stared at me. I finally stammered out an answer to his question. I slept okay last night. I didn't say more. I think Leo understood. I didn't see Leo's frown deepen as I lowered my head to get my crutch. After getting off the plane, Leo naturally took my suitcase. Leo looked at my leg. I'll take you there. It's not convenient for you to go alone. I shook my phone. It's okay. I'll just get a cab. Leo's hand was still firmly on my suitcase, not letting go. He was like a child clinging to a favorite toy. I sighed internally. Leo probably felt sorry for me because of my leg. Or maybe he was trying to compensate me as Noah's friend. I voiced my thoughts. You don't have to help me because of Noah. Leo's eyebrows, which had been slightly lowered, shot up at the mention of Noah, and his eyes filled with undisguised disgust. I don't know Noah. I was a little confused by his quick denial. Leo awkwardly touched his neck. I really don't know Noah. I'm not like him. I didn't quite catch the last sentence. What? Nothing. Anyway, what I do has nothing to do with Noah. I nodded in understanding. Let's go then. Grandma's house was in the countryside. It was another half-hour bus ride from the station. The bus was crowded. Leo stood behind me, his hand hovering near me for support. After we got on, Leo also put on an eye mask. The half-hour passed quickly. To my surprise, my grandmother was waiting for me at the village entrance. Seeing me get off the bus, she hurried over and took my hand. Be careful now. You can't afford another fall. Leo's deep voice came from behind me. Grandma, don't worry. I'm taking care of Mia. My grandmother also noticed Leo, who was carrying all the bags. She let go of my hand. This must be Mia's friend. You look familiar. I stood to the side and took a deep breath. Leo took my grandmother's arm and walked behind me. The two of them hit it off immediately. I heard Leo whisper to my grandmother, Grandma, I'm Leo. Mia and Noah have broken up. Grandma, why did they break up? Leo, with a righteous expression. Because he's not good enough for Mia. He's a terrible person. My grandmother looked at Leo thoughtfully. You're a good young man. It must have been a long journey, right? Leo had completely lost his earlier flippant demeanor. Not at all. I walked ahead, secretly listening to their conversation. They were getting along better and better. It was as if Leo was her real grandson, and I was the one who was adopted. When we got home, Leo acted as if it were his own house. Leo wiped the table. Grandma, where's the broom? Grandma poked her head out of the kitchen. I have it. I'll get it for you. I sat on a stool, feeling out of place in my own home for the first time. After Leo finished sweeping, he came over to show off. Grandma just praised me. I looked at his smiling face and couldn't help but smile too. You don't sweep much at home, do you? How is that possible? I'm usually the first one to volunteer. Under my disbelieving gaze, Leo's bravado instantly deflated. Okay, I don't really sweep much at home, fearing I would dislike him for it. He added, but I'm really good at sweeping. Grandma even said I swept it clean. I laughed out loud. All right. I know you're a great sweeper. I looked at the sky outside. It gets dark late these days, but it's a holiday, so there are a lot of tourists. You won't be able to book a hotel later. I figured he would understand what I was implying. Leo's eyes drooped. I came all this way, and you're not even going to let me stay for a meal. He was like a big dog with a drooping, sad tail. I couldn't help but ruffle his messy hair. After I did it, I suddenly realized what I had done. My breathing quickened, and I pulled my hand back. But Leo, as if nothing had happened, went back to the kitchen. If you ignored the fact that he was walking with his arm and leg on the same side moving in sync, by the time we finished dinner, it was already dark. I picked up Leo's bag, ready to see him off. He pouted, his hand still on the apron my grandmother had tied for him. He looked like he didn't want to take it off. My grandmother, seeing no one in the room, came out. What's wrong? I turned around. He's leaving. I'm telling him to take off the apron and give it to me. Leo then looked at my grandmother with pleading eyes. My grandmother looked at the sky outside. It's so late. Why are you still leaving? Bring him in, Grandma. But, before I could finish, Leo, clutching the apron, rushed into the house. Grandma said I can stay. You can't kick me out. I had no choice but to put his bag on the sofa. My grandmother was old and went to bed early. When Leo came out of the shower, I was waiting for him on the sofa. Leo was taken aback. Why are you still up? I sighed. Leo, we need to talk. There were only 2 rooms in the house. I didn't want to wake my grandmother, so I took Leo into my room. Leo sat on a low stool like a schoolboy, his long legs with nowhere to go. I got straight to the point. Leo, do you like me? It was still embarrassing to say these words out loud. Leo lowered his head, unconsciously picking at his hands. I, %90, what? Leo, as if giving up, said, yes, as expected. I looked into his eyes. You know, I just broke up with Noah. Leo, I know. Noah is not good enough for you. I didn't expect him to be so emotional. I was silent for a moment. If I get involved with you now, it would be disrespectful to you. Leo almost jumped up. You don't have to feel any burden. Besides, I'm the one pursuing you. Getting more and more agitated, Leo's voice grew louder. If it's you, I'll support you in whatever you do. You can be as disrespectful as you want. I wish you would. I was afraid he would wake my grandmother, so I put a finger to my lips. Shoo, be quiet. Leo suddenly calmed down and lowered his voice. So don't feel any psychological burden. I lowered my head, not speaking. Leo got up from the stool and knelt in front of me. Mia, give me a chance. But, my leg might never get better. Leo looked at me with a serious expression. Mia, there's something wrong with your thinking. What's wrong with your leg? As long as there's a chance, it can be healed. Besides, I love all of you, including your leg. In my eyes, you're the best no matter what you do. Even when you're just breathing in front of me, I find you adorable. And, I've liked you for a long time. The last sentence was more of a mumble. Leo's sweet words came at me without a break. It was strange. Noah had said plenty of sweet things too, but Leo was different. It didn't sound like sweet talk, but like a promise. I watched Leo quietly, my hand resting on my leg. He slowly lowered his head, his forehead resting on the back of my hand, like a well-behaved wolf, begging for its master's affection. After we talked last night, I felt like Leo was becoming more and more open. His undisguised gaze felt like it could pierce right through me. I expressionlessly raised my hand and turned Leo's face away. That's enough. Leo, carrying a basket on his back, said happily, I just can't get enough of looking at you. The crops my grandmother had planted in the field needed tilling, so a certain show-off volunteered to do it. I stood with him on the ridge, looking him up and down. Are you sure you can do this? Leo's eyes widened. You don't believe in my abilities. He even flexed his arm muscles to show off. Before he went down to the field, Leo helped me sweep the weeds under the tree and laid down a soft cushion. He kept muttering, I told you not to come. It would be so much better to stay at home with the fan on. Leo handed me a cup full of water. I looked up and teased him. I just wanted to come. What? Am I not allowed? Leo stood up and ruffled my hair. Of course not. You can go wherever you want. All right. Your husband is going to work now. Before I could react, Leo had already run off. I picked up a nearby stone and threw it at him. You really know how to take advantage of people. Laughter of triumph came from the field. As I expected, after an afternoon of work, Leo was completely wiped out on the sofa. I poked his shoulder. Are you still alive? Leo stubbornly held up a finger. Give me another field, and I can still do it. A man can't say he can't. I pushed his finger down. Just save your breath. We had stayed at my grandmother's long enough. The next day, Leo and I returned to the city. Leo blocked my doorway, his puppy, dog eyes drooping again. You're living here. The environment is so bad, and it's so far from the hospital. It's not convenient at all. The apartment was already small, and Leo's tall frame was blocking the doorway, refusing to budge. I said helplessly, what are you trying to say? Leo's eyes lit up. Move in with me. He seemed to realize he had let it slip and quickly shook his head. No, I mean, I have an apartment I'm trying to rent out. I can rent it to you. Before I could refuse, Leo added pitifully, and I promised Grandma I would take care of you. I looked at the apartment. It was indeed a bit run down, and the lease was about to expire. I tested the waters. Then I'll still pay you the market rate for the rent. He nodded eagerly, as if he wanted to pack me up and send me over right now. I pushed him out. Go do your thing first. I'll pack up and call you later. Okay. After Leo left, I packed my toiletries and clothes into storage boxes. My gaze fell on the wheelchair in the corner. I called a cab and had the driver help me put the wheelchair in the trunk. Thankfully, it was a foldable wheelchair. Very convenient. When I arrived at Noah's company, I stood at the front desk. This is Noah's. The receptionist's eyes widened. Would you like to take it up to Mr. Hayes yourself? No need. Just let him know. I turned to leave with my crutch. The cleaning lady had probably just mopped the floor. The crutch had little traction, and I slipped and almost fell forward. Mia. I didn't turn back, just quickened my pace to get away. Noah caught up to me in a few steps. Mia, have you thought it through? I looked at him, confused. There was a hint of surprise in Noah's eyes. I can reschedule the wedding. I pulled my hand back. Mr. Hayes, I think we made things clear enough that day. Noah seemed not to have understood. What? I said, word for word. The wedding has been cancelled. There is no relationship between us. Noah's eyes were filled with disbelief. No relationship. The whole city knows you're my fiancé. You think you can run away. Let go of me. You know very well how my leg was broken. Noah was visibly flustered. Mia, I can make it up to you. I wasn't the one who did it. I closed my eyes. I had once loved Noah, but in the end, it was all just weariness. You're still lying. I'm going to sue you. Noah laughed as if he had heard a joke. Sue me. You think the police will believe you? Mia, I miss you so much. Come back. I'll treat you as well as I did before. I really miss you. Your leg. The doctor said a few days ago that you should go for a check. Up. I let out a long breath. Noah, you're really disgusting. I raised my crutch and hit him hard on the leg. I strode out of that disgusting place. After calling Leo, he appeared at my door with incredible speed. I looked at him in surprise. Did you fly here? Leo tried to catch his breath. You could say that. In the end, I stood in front of the apartment Leo had said he had extra, with all my bags, a little speechless. This is the apartment you said you couldn't rent out. Leo nodded innocently. Although this apartment wasn't in the city center, the surrounding transportation was very developed, and it looked very spacious. It was hard to believe that no one wanted it, as Leo had claimed. I put down my bag and looked at Leo. He seemed to be getting nervous. What's wrong? Nothing. I picked up my bag and walked in. How about $3,000 a month for rent? I didn't hear Leo reply. When I turned back, I saw his mouth slightly agape, a look of surprise on his face. Did I offer too low a price? Leo was stunned for a moment before he spoke. $3,000 a month is too high. He then put on a thoughtful expression. I think $500 a month is enough. I couldn't help but say, will your parents hand over their company to you? Leo didn't seem to expect me to ask this. He thought for a moment. I'm their only child. If nothing unexpected happens, I should be the sole heir. I nodded expressionlessly. I really felt sorry for his parents. After Leo helped me pack my things, I thought he would definitely stay for dinner, given his personality. To my surprise, after sitting for a while, he stood up to leave. Not staying for dinner. The word slipped out before my brain could catch up. I was a little stunned after I said it. Leo reacted quickly and leaned in. You can't bear to let me go. I pushed his head away, my cheeks flushing, and urged him in a low voice. Just go. I don't know if it was because of the change of scenery. I felt a lot more relaxed. Noah no longer appeared in my dreams. People grow up. The love at first sight from back then would eventually be smoothed over by time. All the old wounds had found redemption and release. I had never felt so light before. I felt like I should move forward. It was only the next day that I found out why Leo had left so early yesterday. The guy lived right across from me. He knocked on my door early in the morning with a smiling face and breakfast. You haven't had breakfast yet, right? Of course you haven't. I went to your favorite shop early this morning to buy it. Even if you've eaten, you have to say you haven't. I crossed my arms and teased him. Don't worry, even if I'm full, I'll still eat the breakfast you brought. At these words, I saw Leo visibly fluster again. Haha, I was just kidding. If you've already eaten, then don't. I stared at Leo. He didn't dare to look me in the eye. TSK. Why is this guy so timid when it comes to the important stuff? I took his arm and forced him to look at me. I'm serious. I didn't say it explicitly, but I thought Leo would understand. Leo suddenly felt a bright future ahead of him and almost picked me up and spun me around. Leo suddenly took a step back and straightened his clothes. My name is Leo. I'm 24 years old, and I'm 1.86 meters tall. I don't smoke or drink. I have no bad habits. My family is quite well off, and the family atmosphere is also very good. I personally want a daughter, but of course, as long as it's your child. I saw him heading in a strange direction and quickly covered his mouth. What are you talking about? Leo blinked and fell silent. My hand felt like it had been burned, and I quickly pulled it away. Leo quickly asked, so, you agree? I nodded and stood on my tiptoes to kiss his cheek. We're together now. Ever since I agreed to be with Leo, his mother, hen nature had completely erupted. The next day, he took me straight to the hospital. My original doctor, Dr. Fong, saw me and immediately started scolding me. I told you to come for a check up a few days ago. Why didn't you come? This is your leg, not someone else's. Dr. Fong was very dedicated and took good care of me. I had a few urgent things to deal with a few days ago, but I promise I'll come for check. UPS on time in the future. Hearing me say this, Dr. Fang's expression gradually softened. Mr. Hayes didn't come with you this time. As soon as the words were out, Leo walked in with the things needed for the check. I don't know if he heard what was just said. Dr. Fong, I don't know what Noah told you, but we've broken up. This is my new boyfriend. Dr. Fang's eyes flashed with disbelief. Then he unexpectedly patted my shoulder. Good for you. This sentence also confused me. Leo's expression changed from expressionless to a smug one. His eyes seemed to say, see, I'm better than Noah. Lately, I've felt that Leo has been a little anxious. He wouldn't tell me what was wrong, just nuzzled against me like a big dog, seeking security. Perhaps because I had been living with Leo for the past few days, the trash that hadn't shown up in a while had found its way to my door. A knock on the door again. Did you forget your keys again? I opened the door, and the smile on my face immediately vanished. What are you doing here? The moment Noah saw me, a fire lit up in his eyes. I see, so you've hooked up with the Carter family. You really can't live without a man, can you? I slapped him across the face, so hard that his head turned to the side. Then he grabbed my hand forcefully. You need money. Why didn't you come to me? There's really nothing between Ruby and me. I pulled my hand away. You think everyone is like you, with only money in their eyes. Noah sneered. Aren't you? Didn't you bully Ruby for money back then? I considered myself a very patient person, but this idiot was really testing my limits. That's right. I love money. Do you have more money than Leo? Noah sneered and looked behind me. I hadn't closed the door. Leo was now standing at the entrance. I suddenly regretted my words. What if Leo really thought I was only with him for his money? Leo walked over with a cold expression and gently rubbed my hand, which was red from Noah's grip. Does it hurt? A little. Leo suddenly looked up and at Noah with contempt. Did you hear that? My baby loves money. You're not even qualified to get in line. I looked up at Leo in surprise. I had thought he was a big dog, but it turned out he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. Very aggressive. Noah seemed to be shocked as well and attacked. Who do you think you are? I've known her since college. Don't think that just because you're now. Leo snorted and interrupted him. That's a real shame. But her boyfriend now is me. Then his puppy, dog eyes fell on me, and his voice softened. Kiss me, baby. Anyone who didn't know would think he was being bullied. I gently pressed my lips against his. The next second, Noah stormed out, slamming the door. Leo, buried in my neck, lowered his eyes and said softly, "It's time to take care of this." "What did you say?" I said it's time for your check. Up. The results of this check, up, were very good. My legs were already showing signs of recovery. Phone once again reminded me of some precautions before letting me go. Leo had an urgent matter and had to go to the company immediately. He held my hand, clearly not wanting to leave. "Go on. Don't keep them waiting. Work hard and make money. I'll be waiting for you at home." Leo reluctantly let go of my hand. "What's the point? You haven't even spent any of my money." The fridge was a little empty. I asked the driver to park near the supermarket so I could buy some things. I stood there, waiting for the driver to park and come over. To my surprise, I ran into Ruby. "I heard you hooked up with Leo." I was used to her inability to say anything nice. "What? Are you jealous?" Ruby gritted her teeth in hatred. "You think Leo is some kind of saint. With his family background, he can have whatever he wants. You don't really think he wants to marry a cripple like you, do you?" I saw the driver walking over. "Oh, so what's it to you? You're such a bitch. Seducing Noah and then seducing Leo." I looked at Ruby. "So, what kind of trick are you planning to pull this time?" "Bitch." I emphasized the last word heavily. Ruby didn't expect me to fight back. Before, it was all for Noah's sake that I had repeatedly backed down and tolerated her. Ruby wanted to say more, but seeing the driver approaching, she just left with one last sentence. "Just you wait." When I was ready to pay for the groceries, I realized I had left my phone in the car. I searched all over. Thankfully, I had a supplementary card from Leo. I'll use it for now and tell Leo when I get back. On the other side, in a tense meeting, a sound suddenly came from somewhere. Leo frowned. "Whose phone is that, Mr. Carter?" "I think it's yours." Leo picked up his phone, and his cold expression instantly softened into a gentle one. The senior executives in the room were all stunned. I lay on the sofa, reading the latest news. The Hayes Group was being investigated for tax evasion, and its business risk was rated as high. The entire group had been shut down for inspection, and it was said that several large companies that had collaborated with the Hayes Group had also terminated their partnerships. The Hayes Group's capital chain was completely broken. I held the evidence in my hand. Just a little more, and I would succeed. When Leo came back at night, I was in the kitchen, cooking. Leo was startled and quickly came over to support my waist. "Where's your crutch? Why aren't you using it?" I turned around and pinched his cheek. Fong said I'm recovering well. I won't need the crutch in a little while." Leo whined. "You have to use it before I get back. You don't have to use it when I'm at home. I'll be watching you all the time." Leo's fluffy head nuzzled against my neck. "A few of my close friends are getting together tomorrow. Do you want to come with me?" It was only when I got there that I realized I had agreed too quickly yesterday. Was this a gathering of close friends? This was clearly a general assembly. A huge number of people had come. Leo had his arm around my shoulder, a little worried. "What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?" Leo started to regret it. "If you're not feeling well, then let's leave." I stopped him. "No, we've come all this way." Leo held my face and reminded me, "You have to tell me if you're not feeling well." I nodded. Leo's close friend, Ethan, walked over with a wine glass. He raised an eyebrow. "Yo, why is the great Mr. Carter here today? We could never get you to come before." Leo playfully punched his shoulder. Ethan's gaze turned to me. "And this is..." Leo cut him off, declaring his ownership. "My wife." After he said it, he looked at me tentatively with his wet eyes. Seeing that I wasn't angry, he became happy again. Ethan's mouth dropped open. "The iron tree is blooming. MMMPH. Before he could finish, Leo had covered his mouth. "Mia, don't listen to his nonsense." Leo shot a glare at Ethan. I nodded at Ethan. "Hello, my name is Mia." Ethan shook my hand with both of his. "My name is Ethan. I'm Leo's good friend." Leo's eyes were fixed on our clasped hands, and he couldn't help but grind his teeth. Ethan stuck out his tongue and quickly ran away. Leo took out a wet wipe and slowly wiped my hand. This kid didn't even wash his hands before touching someone. I was a little helpless. It's okay. If Ethan were here, he would probably be wailing again. After everyone had arrived, they all sat down. Everyone started to tease. "Leo has been single for over 20 years, and he's finally off the market. Congratulations." "Exactly. If he didn't get off the market soon, I would have thought he was in love with me. Haha, you wish, you little punk. I looked back at Leo. Was he really a virgin? Leo said loudly, give me some face, guys, don't expose my old secrets. Halfway through the meal, Leo went out to take a call. Before he left, he signaled Ethan to keep an eye on me. His figure disappeared through the door, and Ethan immediately sat down next to me. Seriously, this is the first time I've seen Leo be so gentle with someone. Leo is very gentle. Ethan looked at me in surprise. So this is love? You don't know, but Leo actually has a very bad temper. In high school, he could get into the police station 5 times a week. He has a bad temper. Ethan leaned back in his chair. That depends on the person. Of course, he's definitely very good to you. I can see that Leo is serious about you this time. I'll tell you a secret. I immediately sat up straight and pricked up my ears. You know about Leo's family situation, right? Leo was kidnapped when he was a child. My eyes widened. Kidnapped? Shoo. Ethan looked around. It was a big deal back then. In the end, they said the kidnappers killed him. Hearing this, I felt my heart stop. At that time, Leo's mother fainted and was rushed to the hospital. Everyone thought the Carter family's only heir was gone. But about a month later, the kid was brought back by the police. They said a child had secretly saved Leo. I don't believe it. How could a kid half his size fight off kidnappers? Later, the Carter family's only heir was found, but Leo had completely changed. He had a very bad temper. Ethan paused and then said, it's rare to see him so relaxed now. After he finished, Ethan went back to his seat. Leo came back from his call and felt that the atmosphere was very strange. Like a wolf cub sniffing its territory to see if it had been invaded. He stared at Ethan, his eyes signaling, what's wrong? Ethan nonchalantly turned his head away. Leo became anxious. What's wrong? Did they bully you? I looked up at Leo and took his hand. No. Leo stood up and said a few words to Ethan. Let's go. We're going home. After we got home, Leo's mood was a little off. I'm sorry, you don't like those kinds of occasions. We won't go anymore. I said seriously. Leo, I don't dislike it. On the contrary, I really like it when you take me to see your friends. Leo hugged me and shrunk a little, looking pitiful. Really? I pulled his hand. Sit up straight. Leo was a little confused. What's wrong? Look at me. Do you think I still have feelings for Noah? Leo stammered. No. I feigned anger. Leo, are you sure? His face immediately fell. His voice choked with sobs. You were with him for so long. I'm afraid you still have feelings for him. We haven't even been together for a month. I'm not jealous of him. He was speaking incoherently, but I still understood. So, you think I agreed to be with you while I still had feelings for Noah? Leo started to panic. No, I didn't think that. I pulled Leo's collar closer. You listen to me carefully. Mia loves Leo now, and in the future. Leo's expression was still dazed. I stood up and pressed my lips against his. A few seconds later, Leo took control and held me, deepening the kiss. Mia, you're not getting away from me this lifetime. My legs can now walk without the help of a crutch. Leo is always worried, reminding me over and over again before I go out. I feel like I just have a bad leg, not a bad brain. So today when I went out, I didn't let the driver follow me. I know the driver is a little spy and will report my daily schedule to Leo, but not today. It's Leo's birthday in a few days. The gift must be bought secretly. My phone suddenly rang. Hello. It was noisy on the other end. Noah's voice came through. Mia, I miss you so much. We were about to get married. The person by your side should be me, Mr. Hayes. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up now. Just as I walked a few steps, a text message came from a strange number. Hello, I'm a friend of Noah's. He's drunk right now and is clamoring to see you. Can you come over? I put my phone away and didn't reply. After buying Leo's gift, I was about to get a cab home when I was quickly pulled into a van. As soon as I got in, I was knocked out with a handkerchief. The second before I passed out, I seemed to hear a string of curses. It sounded familiar. When I woke up, the person was still cursing. This time I heard clearly. It was Ruby. Why was she kidnapped too? My head was still a little groggy. I had just had a dream. Also about a kidnapper kidnapping a little boy. I had secretly gone to save him and almost got caught. A gruff voice came. Damn it. That kid Noah is really ruthless. He's going bankrupt and still wants to drag me down with him. There were 2 other people next to him. So what do we do with these 2? The person sneered. Noah really knows how to enjoy himself. Call him now. If he wants them, he has to bring the money. No tricks. They quickly dialed Noah's number. A careless voice came from the other end. Hello, Noah, we have your women. If you want them alive, bring 80 million. We're not asking for much. For 2 people, just double it. 2 people, ha ha ha. One is your fiancé, the other is your secret lover. The person signaled us to make some noise. The moment the black tape was off my mouth, Ruby, across from me, went crazy. Noah, save me, I don't want to die. Save me. The person moved the phone towards me. I moved my mouth. If anything happens to me, tell Leo not to be sad. The kidnapper, seeing I wasn't saying what he wanted, kicked me and walked away with the phone. I don't know what they said. I was just worried that Leo would be very anxious if he knew I was kidnapped. He had already been through it once. I didn't want him to go through it again. It was dark here, like we were in some abandoned chemical factory. A little while later, I made some noise. Someone walked over. What's wrong? I'm a little hungry. Is there anything to eat or drink? This person went to report to their leader. A little while later, he came back with a bowl of instant noodles. Here, the kidnapper only untied one of my hands. They gave me food and water, so they probably weren't desperate criminals. Ruby, on the side, saw this and shouted, why only her? I want some too. Her tone was demanding. The person spat at Ruby. You want my ass? I closed my eyes. Ruby was stupid and vicious. She didn't need to do anything. She could play herself to death. I ate a few bites of noodles to fill my stomach and moved the instant noodles to the side. Eat. Ruby snorted. I don't need your pity. Are you sure you don't want to eat? I don't want to eat. I nodded. Alright then. I finished the rest of the noodles from that angle. Ruby sat on the side, watching eagerly. After I finished, my hands were tied again. I don't know how long passed, but I faintly heard footsteps outside. The leader of the kidnappers. Did you bring the money? Noah, I brought it. The kidnapper wanted to take the suitcase from his hand. Wait, let me see them. The door outside suddenly opened, and light flooded in. Mia. It was Noah. The moment Ruby saw Noah, she burst into tears. Noah, you're here. Please save me. Noah gritted his teeth and said angrily, shut up. Ruby was silenced by his shout. Noah fumbled with my ankle. Are you hurt anywhere else? No. Does Leo know? As soon as the words were out, the sound of the kidnappers cursing came from the door. Damn it. This son of a bitch tricked us. The police are here. Noah quickly untied the ropes on my hands. The enraged kidnapper picked up a stool and swung it at me, but Noah kicked it away. The sound of the police came from outside. Everyone freeze, or we will shoot. Noah was untying Ruby's ropes. He didn't notice someone behind him swinging a large iron bar at me. Mia. I watched as Noah threw himself in front of me. The iron bar hit his knee directly, and he passed out. Soon, Leo arrived. He held me, and I could feel his whole body trembling. Don't be afraid. I'm okay. Before I passed out, I felt many tears fall on my face. Everyone involved in the kidnapping was arrested. According to Ethan, when Leo put me in the ambulance that day, he could barely stand. He just knelt in front of me. It really scared me. I gnawed on an apple and looked over at Leo. He rarely contradicted Ethan. I knew he was really scared this time. I tried to lighten the mood. When I was in the car, I had a dream. I dreamt that I was also kidnapped as a child. It was a bit thrilling. To my surprise, at these words, Leo's face changed. You remembered. Remembered what? Ethan silently left the hospital room. Leo lowered his head. Nothing. Grandma told me before that you don't remember much about your childhood. I whined. Why does Grandma tell you everything? Grandma said I went out to play as a child and came back with a high fever. After I got better, I couldn't remember much of what happened before. Leo held me. It's okay. It's all in the past. Ruby, who hadn't contacted me in a long time, called. Noah's leg. It's not going to get better. Leo was lying next to me, looking at me with a serious expression. Ruby, on the other end, was in disbelief. Mia, you really have no conscience. She hung up. Leo whispered in my ear. Noah's leg is broken. His leg was broken for you. Leo was a little happy. Don't you have anything to say? I frowned. What? You want me to devote myself to him? That's fine too. I was about to get up. Leo grabbed me. How could you? You're mine. I ruffled his hair. He saved me this time. I'm grateful, but that's all. I can give him money, but I was kidnapped because of him too. Leo's eyes were now smiling. Then I'll give him more money. The next day, Leo and I went to the hospital together. Ruby and Leo were both kicked out of the room. There was a glimmer of hope in Noah's eyes. Mia, you came to see me. I sat in a chair. Your leg, is it really not going to get better? Noah looked down. a bitter smile on his lips. The tendons are all torn. It'll probably be like this for the rest of my life. Thank you. Noah stared at me, wanting to say something, but I cut him off. But it's only gratitude. I came this time to tell you that the thugs who broke my leg in high school have agreed to be witnesses, and I have the voice recording of you instructing them. The light in Noah's eyes gradually faded. Noah, I have to do this. You owe me this. He looked up again, his face covered in tears. I should. It's all my fault. After I left, I saw Leo looking wary. I ruffled his hair. Let's go. The court summons came quickly. Noah sat in a wheelchair and confessed to everything he had done. Noah is found guilty of intentional injury and is sentenced to 4 years in prison. Leo and I walked out of the courthouse hand in hand. The flowers had finally bloomed. This time when I went home to see my grandmother, Leo's father had already handed over the company to him and was traveling the world with his wife. So, I went back to York alone. The night before I left, Leo whined all night. He wanted hugs. He wanted kisses. By the time morning came, I felt like I couldn't even put myself back together. My grandmother was still waiting for me at the village entrance. She looked behind me. Leo didn't come. I stretched. He wanted to come, but he's too busy with the company. You two have been together for so long. Hasn't he told you about his childhood yet? What about his childhood? I never met him as a child. My grandmother sat on a low stool, washing vegetables. You had a high fever as a child. I rested my head on her lap. Yes, what about it? My grandmother sighed. You were a playful child. You loved to run off into the deep mountains and old forests. One time you brought back a little boy. You said you saved him. I knew then that he had been kidnapped. I don't know how you saved him, but it really scared me at the time. That kid only followed you around. He was all torn up. You were the one who changed his clothes. My eyes widened. Later, he stayed with you for a month. I saw he was getting better, so I took him to the police station in the city. Who knew? He had just left when you came down with a high fever. After you got better, you couldn't remember anything. So, the child Ethan was talking about, the one who saved Leo, was me. I asked, so you recognized him when he came last time? My grandmother stood up with the washed vegetables. Although he's not as cute as he was as a child, Grandma can still recognize him. I followed behind my grandmother. Was Leo cute as a child? He looks so cool now. My grandmother turned around. I almost forgot. You used to see good-looking people and insist they marry you. If they didn't, you would cry. Hee hee. So did Leo agree back then? Of course he agreed. You have no idea how loud you cried when I didn't agree. It wasn't my grandmother's voice. It was Leo's. I looked towards the door. Leo was standing there with his things, smiling, against the setting sun. His hair was tinged with light. The moon couldn't drown in the river of love, and the stars finally found their fire. The days are like cotton, and love is like a rainbow.